What's up, Lakers fans? Today we're diving into something that's been on everyone's mind lately, and that's Luka Doncic. The last 10 games or so have been pretty revealing, and honestly, the narrative around him has shifted a bit. For a while this season, Luka was getting a lot of heat, and not always unfairly. A lot of us were critical of his shot selection and the way he was being used. But the thing is, Luka has always been a high-usage player. That's just who he is. He's one of those guys where the team's offense naturally funnels through him. I've always said I don't mind him taking 25 shots, 30 shots, or whatever he needs to take, as long as it makes sense and we're winning. When the shots are justified, when they're the right ones, I'm all for it. The problem wasn't necessarily the volume, it was the quality. There were times this season where it felt like Luka was chucking shots just to chuck shots. And that's been a real issue for the Lakers because their three-point shooting has been a major weakness. It's not a secret that the Lakers have struggled from deep, and when you look at the numbers, it becomes even more obvious. The point I made in a previous breakdown still holds. When Luka Doncic and Austin Reaves are combining for half of the team's shot attempts, especially from three, and neither of them is shooting the three well, you're not going to be a strong three-point shooting team. It's just math. At the time I made that video, their combined three-point percentage was around 31.5%, and the team overall wasn't much better. So yeah, that's a problem. But what's been different lately is Luka's shot quality. Over the last 10 games, maybe a bit longer, he's been much more efficient. He's been taking fewer shots, but still producing the same point totals. That's a sign of better decision-making and better execution. One night, he scored 33 points on only 15 attempts. That's insane efficiency. And when he was asked about it after the game, about whether he was trying to trust his teammates more, his response was basically, "I only took 15 shots. What do you want me to do?" And that's fair. It's not like the coaching staff or anyone else is demanding that he take shots just for the sake of it. But at the same time, you can't ignore the fact that the Lakers' offense is at its best when the ball moves. Luka is improving in that area, and that's huge. The other thing that's noticeable is the quality of the looks he's getting. In the past, it felt like Luka was forcing some shots, taking contested threes or awkward pull-ups. Now you're seeing him get wide-open opportunities because the Lakers are doing a better job of creating spacing and movement. LeBron's driving, defenses collapse, and then Luka is there to catch and shoot. Or the ball swings, the defense shifts, and suddenly Luka is wide open because the defender is late closing out. Those are the kinds of shots you want from your star player. The difference between a contested shot and an open look is massive, and Luka is getting more of the latter lately. Of course, there are still moments where Luka is unstoppable, and it's like, take whatever you want. There are games where he's just on fire, making difficult shots look easy, hitting those little one-leg floaters, or pulling up from deep with perfect balance. When he's in that zone, you just sit back and let him do his thing. But the key is balance. You want Luka to dominate, but you also want the rest of the team to stay involved. That's been a criticism this season. Luka is passing, but his teammates aren't always converting. When the shots aren't falling, it becomes harder for him to keep dishing. At some point, you have to score. And that's where the supporting cast becomes crucial. Players like Marcus Smart have to keep knocking down threes. Smart has been better recently, which is a positive sign. Jared Vanderbilt needs to be more consistent from deep, and Rui Hachimura looks like he's slowly getting back into a rhythm. Those are the kinds of improvements that will make Luka's job easier. LeBron has to shoot the three better too, and when Austin Reaves returns, he has to be a threat from deep as well. It's not just about Luka adjusting. It's about the whole team becoming more reliable. When the Lakers can space the floor, it opens up everything. Luka can drive, kick, and make the right play without feeling like he has to do everything himself. This season, another big story has been Luka's defense. People often say he's not an elite defender, and that's true. He's never going to be the kind of lockdown defender who can shut down the opposing team's best player every night. But defense isn't just about steals or flashy plays. It's about staying in front of your man, being physical, rotating, and making the right reads. Luka has been very good defensively this year, especially over the last stretch. He's been active, he's been engaged, and he's been one of the more consistent defensive pieces on the team. Yes, he has moments where he gets beat, and those moments tend to stick out because they're dramatic. But if you watch the full game, you see he's doing the right things more often than not. The numbers back it up too. Luka has been producing solid defensive stats, and the eye test supports that. He's not elite, but he doesn't need to be. The important part is that he's showing improvement and a willingness to do the dirty work. And that matters for the future of the Lakers. If you're building around Luka and you want to add another star or another high-usage player, you need Luka to be able to adapt. The big question is always, can Luka coexist with other stars? We've seen examples in the league where two superstars just don't mesh, and it's not always about talent. It's about style and fit. If Luka can continue to play more off the ball when needed, if he can operate within a system and not always be the one initiating everything, that makes it easier to build a championship-level roster around him. And it's not just hypothetical. You can see glimpses of it already. He's been more willing to swing the ball, to hit the open man, and to trust the offense. That's huge. The Lakers are going to go as far as Luka, LeBron, and the supporting cast can take them. And the more Luka buys into the system, the better the chances are that those pieces fit together. So yes, Luka is still Luka. He's still going to take big shots, and he's still going to be the focal point. But the recent stretch has shown a more efficient, more disciplined version of him. He's getting better looks, playing harder on defense, and showing that he can adapt. That's exactly the kind of growth you want to see if the Lakers are serious about competing at the highest level. And as the season continues, it's going to be fascinating to see how this evolves and whether the Lakers can build around this improved version of Luka without losing what makes him so special. As we keep watching Luka Doncic's evolution, the most important thing to notice is how he's starting to blend his natural dominance with a more team-oriented approach. There's always been this question around him. Can he be a true championship-caliber superstar while still being the primary engine of the offense? And the last few games have shown that the answer might be closer to yes than many of us expected. Luka is still the guy who could take over a game at any moment, but he's also learning when to slow things down, when to let the offense breathe, and when to trust the players around him. That kind of growth is hard to quantify, but you can feel it when you watch the Lakers play. The key factor is that the Lakers are starting to play with better spacing and movement. When you see LeBron driving and collapsing the defense, or when you see the ball swing around the perimeter, Luka is getting open looks. That's the kind of offense that makes it easier for a star player to be efficient. When you don't have to create every shot, you can pick your moments, and Luka has been doing that lately. He's still the primary option, but he's taking smarter shots. That's why his scoring has remained high, even though his shot attempts have gone down. That's what you want from a star. You want him to be aggressive, but you also want him to be wise. At the same time, you can't ignore the supporting cast. The Lakers still need more consistency from the rest of the roster. The issue is not just Luka's shot selection. It's that the team still struggles to get production from enough players on a regular basis. We've seen games where Luka and LeBron combine for more than half of the team's points, and that's not sustainable. It's not that they can't do it, but you need other players to step up so the team can survive nights when one of them has an off game. When the Lakers can get reliable scoring from their role players, it changes everything. Luka can still be the star, but he doesn't have to be the only one carrying the load. One of the biggest reasons this is so important is because of the potential roster moves that could be coming. The Lakers are always going to be in the mix for big names. Whether it's a high-profile trade or a free agent splash, the idea of adding another superstar is always on the table. But the question becomes, how do you make that work? Luka has a very particular style. He's a playmaker, he's a scorer, and he likes the ball in his hands. So when you talk about pairing him with another high-usage star, you have to consider whether they can coexist. We've seen examples where two great players couldn't make it work simply because they both wanted the ball too much. That's not a knock on Luka. It's just the reality of basketball. What's encouraging is that Luka is showing signs of being more adaptable. He's not just trying to dominate. He's learning to play within a system, and that's a big step. When he's willing to move without the ball, when he's willing to trust the offense and let the plays develop, it makes it easier to build a team around him. It also makes it easier to defend because he's not forcing the issue every possession. That's the kind of growth that can elevate the Lakers from being a good team to being a real contender. The Lakers need that kind of evolution if they want to compete with the top teams in the league. The defensive side of the game is also a huge part of this story. Luka has always been criticized for his defense, but that criticism has often been exaggerated. He's never going to be a lockdown defender, but he has been very engaged on that end this season. He's been active in passing lanes, he's been making reads, and he's been more consistent in staying in front of his man. The key is that he's putting effort into it. Defense is not just a talent thing, it's also a mindset. If you're committed to defense, you can be effective even if you're not the quickest or the strongest. Luka has shown that commitment, and that's a good sign for the Lakers' future. Another factor that's worth mentioning is the way Luka handles pressure. He's been in the spotlight for years, and he's used to being the focal point. But the Lakers are a different kind of team. They're built around a culture of winning, and the expectations are enormous. Luka is still young, but he's already shown that he can handle the pressure. The way he's been playing lately shows that he's not just trying to prove a point. He's trying to win. And that's the difference between a superstar and a champion. A superstar can score 30 points and lose. A champion finds a way to win, even when things aren't going perfectly. We also have to talk about the Lakers' offensive identity. For a while, it seemed like the team was struggling to find a rhythm. There were stretches where it looked like they didn't have a clear plan. But lately, there's been a sense of structure. The offense feels more deliberate. It's not perfect, but it's better. When Luka is playing within a structure, it helps the entire team. It gives role players a chance to contribute. It forces defenses to make decisions. And it creates open shots. That's the kind of basketball you need if you want to make a deep playoff run. Now, the big question is whether this stretch is sustainable. Can Luka keep this level of efficiency and decision-making? Can the Lakers continue to get better spacing and better shooting from their role players? Those are the big unknowns. But the signs are promising. Luka is showing that he can adapt. He's showing that he can play smarter without sacrificing his scoring. He's showing that he can be a leader, not just in points, but in how the team plays. And that's the kind of growth that can change the trajectory of a season. If the Lakers can keep building around this version of Luka, the future looks brighter. The team has the talent. The question is whether they can turn potential into results. Luka's recent play is a step in the right direction. It shows that he's capable of being both a superstar and a team player. And that's the balance you need if you want to compete at the highest level. As the season continues, the Lakers will need to keep improving, but Luka's evolution gives them a real chance. It's not just about what he can do on the court, it's about what he can do for the team. Before we continue, we ask that you leave a like and subscribe to the channel so you won't miss any exclusive Lakers updates. Moving on, in what could be the most seismic shakeup in recent NBA history, sources close to the league are buzzing with whispers that Giannis Antetokounmpo may be seriously considering a move to the Los Angeles Lakers. According to insiders, the Greek Freak has given a tentative yes to discussions, sending shockwaves through franchises and fans alike. The Lakers, long rumored to be aggressive in pursuing a superstar to complement their championship aspirations, have reportedly sweetened their offer significantly. While exact figures remain under wraps, industry insiders suggest the deal includes a combination of high-value contracts, luxury incentives, and potential future draft assets, all crafted to tempt one of the game's most dominant forces. If the whispers prove true, the implications are enormous. Giannis joining LeBron James and Anthony Davis in purple and gold could redefine the balance of power in the NBA, potentially creating a super team capable of dominating the league for years. Rival executives are said to be nervous, with some openly acknowledging that a move of this magnitude could trigger a domino effect, reshaping rosters across the conference. Social media has exploded with speculation, memes, and fervent debates about how a Lakers-Giannis partnership might operate on the court. Analysts are torn between excitement and caution, highlighting both the immense offensive potential and the defensive chemistry questions that could arise. While nothing is officially confirmed, the mere hint that Giannis might entertain the Lakers' pitch is enough to send the NBA into a frenzy. Teams are reportedly adjusting their strategies, Fans are trading theories, and sports media outlets are racing to keep up with every leak and rumor. The coming days could prove pivotal, as negotiations reportedly remain fluid and highly sensitive. One thing is certain. If Giannis truly leans toward Los Angeles, the NBA landscape as we know it could be forever altered. Speculation is mounting. Whispers are becoming headlines, and the league's most dramatic what-if scenario may be on the verge of becoming reality. Stay informed exclusively about Los Angeles Lakers news. Subscribe to our channel and hit the like button to keep receiving daily updates. Also, share your opinion on the news in the comments, as your contribution is crucial for the Lakers. Stay tuned for the next video.